Good evening, everybody. This is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and this is Healthcare Bill Part number 37. We are on page 12 of the Public Health Services Act. We are talking about special enrollment periods, if you'll remember from my previous video. Now, okay, picture it. You're working at a job. All of a sudden, you get laid off from that job. You get onto Cobra Insurance. You get hired by a different employer. Now, usually when you get hired by an employer, what he does is he has a regular enrollment period for health insurance to get his employees on health insurance. And this is usually done in the fall of the year. You come in one day, it could be September, it could be October, it could be November. It just varies from company to company. And what they do is they give you this little packet. You read through the packet, and you decide whether you want to enroll in the health insurance that the employer is offering to you at that time. Okay, and this is provided to you every year. Okay, and the employer offers it to everybody in the company. Okay, he says to everybody in the company, if you want to have health insurance next year and you want me to pay for it, then you need to enroll at this period, because if you don't, you're not going to get it. All right, now, you're Mr. Employee of this new business, and what is happening is that you still got Cobra from your old business. So, you may not want to enroll right away in the new boss's health insurance. Okay? Well, at a certain point, your Cobra does run out. And when it does, then you say, okay, my Cobra is running out. I now want to enroll in your health insurance. So this is what they would be considering a special enrollment period. This is an enrollment period that happens outside of the normal regular enrollment period that's done every year for every single employee. Okay, and that's what this is talking about. Okay. If you had coverage from a Cobra plan or from a different employer, let's say you work in two jobs, and one job is a full-time, another one's a part-time, and the employer for the part-time says, you can have my insurance too. You say, no, I don't want your insurance right now. I've got this full-time employment insurance. Alright? Now, all of a sudden, that full-time job disintegrates. Now you have to depend on your new employer's health insurance. At the time that you lose your health insurance from your previous employer, that's when you can enroll in the new employer's health insurance. Okay? So, if you're declining the health insurance of the new employer because you had coverage from your old employer or from a Cobra plan, then that's okay. And then later on you can then switch over. So your switch over doesn't have to happen at a certain time of the year. It can happen at any time. Okay? And this is also true of dependents. Let's say you're married to somebody, and this gal you're married to has coverage from her job. Alright? All of a sudden she ends up being unemployed. So now she has to rely on your health insurance. Okay? That's dependent care coverage. You don't have to wait until Timbuktu time to get her enrolled in your health insurance. You can do it at the time that she loses her own. Okay? And that's what they're talking about here. Alright. For dependent beneficiaries, now, a dependent can mean a spouse. A dependent can be through birth. A dependent can be through adoption. So any of those would work as a dependent, okay? These group health plans make coverage available to these dependents, and the dependent is eligible under the plan because it's either a marriage or it's a birth or something like that. Okay. Then they talk about dependent special enrollment period. This is the situation where it can be husband or wife. It can also be a baby. Okay. The reason why the baby is enrolled at a special time rather than at any normal time is because the baby has been born at a time. Let's say the baby is born in spring, but your normal enrollment period would be in October. Okay, well, you're going to enroll the baby in spring because you don't have to wait all the way till October because that's a dependent care. Same thing with a marriage. You got married to somebody, she loses her coverage, say, in February, but the normal enrollment period is not until October. Well, she can then go ahead and enroll in your health plan in February instead of in October. And that's what they're talking about. Okay, the next section is special rules for application in case of Medicaid and CHIP. I don't know what CHIP is, but I do know what Medicaid is. Let's say you get married to somebody who has Medicaid. Now you can offer them dependent coverage. They can take themselves off of Medicaid and get on your coverage. And that's what they're talking about here is, let's say you fall in love with somebody, that somebody is covered under Medicaid. As soon as you marry them, they can't be covered under Medicaid anymore because you've got better health insurance. Well, then they don't have to wait month after month until your general enrollment. They can enroll at a special time. Okay. Same thing with children. And that's all this extra stuff is talking about is what happens if you have a situation where it's Medicaid and so on and so forth. And that concludes the original Section 2701. Whew. Wow, that's a lot of details there. Alright, I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.